All right, this is K Michelle. Check this out.
I like
Ooh,
K
yeah.
Michelle.
I just don't
Do
be.
That's
you?
impressive.
Yeah, she can sing and she's very talented.
Oh, okay. I don't really follow her that much, so this is interesting to me.
Want men to cry because then I don't feel protected.
So my last ex, he cried.
You like it? I would like to be better about that, you know? Like, I don't want to see. I don't
I don't
know.
mind them crying though. I think they should be able to be vulnerable.
I do. I think men should be able to cry and be vulnerable.
Yeah.
But for some reason, once they cry, you know what happens to me? I turn into the man.
No, you met the right wrong one.
When they cry, I be like, I be like that, like.
It depends what they're crying about. So if they had a death in their
If
family,
we both cry,
what if their
who's not?
mom passed?
I get it, family. Oh, I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about like if something don't go their way, like a cry.
Oh no.
But like if someone die in your family and things like that, then
What if
you
they're having a
did.
bad? No.
And you know, like having a bad, like I just don't be want men to cry because then I don't feel protected.
But I feel like this. So my ex would cry if something happened. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But I think men should be vulnerable if they're going through something.
Really?
Yeah.
So do you think that?
Yeah, I think they should be able to cry. We cry.
Why you think
I
that?
don't cry.
You don't cry?
Not really.
Why don't you cry?
Because I don't have anything to cry about.
I'm an emotional gangster. I'm an emotional gangster.
Oh, I do not cry.
Pisces?
She could cry. They cry all the time.
Yeah.
February.
Two of them, they crying.
What do you think about that, Quentin?
I think the last actually, it's
Ooh.
kind of funny. The last time I cried was on one of your shows. The last time I cried. Remember, I was talking about my daughter. I was like, "Let me log off real quick."
Oh my god.
But yeah, I don't cry a lot.
What do you
Actually, it's all any crying has been about my daughter. Like I went to her one of her awards a sibling. They're like, "This next child, she's sweet, she's smart." And I just knew it was my kid. I freaking was like, but that's about it. That's about it.
what do you think about this, Mika?
Unfortunately, she's correct.
That's so. I fucking hate you niggas.
It's she unfortunately she's correct, right? Because you either like you want men to be vulnerable and open, right? Because you want men to be able to express themselves, right? But there's something like just natural about a man going too far with the crying
Mm-hmm.
that will automatically turn you off, no matter how sympathetic you are,
Mm.
right?
What was it like a boo
So
hoo? It was just like a tear. Like
no, but that's why I said depending on how far he's going with the crying, how often he does it, things like that. It's just biology, unfortunately. It's
I
the
don't think
truth
niggas
though.
start shit like crying like where they sniffing like shit like that, nigga. I
I'm
get it.
serious. Like that unfortunately that's how it is.
So has a
Because
dude ever
women
cried in
have
your
this
presence?
thing when if the man you're with like breaks down like that, then you're like, damn, well, what's gonna happen? Because now I have to one of us gotta be strong, right? Now she takes it a little far because K Michelle, we all know she's toxic. But she's 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 right,
Have you
unfortunately.
experienced before? Like, has someone cried and you're like, nah, bruh.
No. Only time I've actually seen any of my male friends cry or anything, or yeah, no. It's just when maybe like your dad dies or something like that.
Yeah.
So is
Yeah.
that emotional? Anything to do with emotional intelligence when men can cry?
No, men can cry.
Mm.
I think it's if they go too far, right? If you get overly emotional as a man, then it's like you can men have emotions, they're human beings, but yeah, I don't know. It's just something about it. So I do know she's telling the truth. Like I've seen plenty of women just be turned off once it like you start like boohooing, yeah, it's
Damn, boo-hooing, boo-hooing. Y'all,
Yeah,
yeah,
I ain't
like
never.
once you start like really crying, unless I mean, of course, if it's for a situation, but other than that, if you're just like talking and you just start boohooing, and I can
That shit
tell you
ain't no.
that that's the last day she's gonna respect you.
Yeah, I ain't do that shit.
Unfortunately, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, but it's just biology.
Yeah, I don't really believe in showing emotion at all to an extent. Let me revise that. I do believe in showing emotion. I think that women like men that are super passionate, but I don't believe in showing
Mm-hmm.
emotion as far as like weakness to a woman. Like, I'm not the type of guy that's going to sit there and tell you about my problems. I mean, if you ask me something like, hey, what's happening? Like, what's going on today or something like that, I might like talk about that. But I'm not about to deep dive into my past, and I'm not doing none of that shit. Like, I'm not that guy that's gonna be sitting there going all into it and trying to help you to understand where I'm coming from and why my past is like. I'm not that type of guy.
But Anton, so women are confusing for no reason, but they want you to be open, but not too open when you start sounding like her.
I'm not that open. I'm just open about how it is, and I'm passionate about you at that particular time, and that ain't got nothing to do with crying.
Yeah, like you
That
can be passionate, you can be, like I said, a little emotional, but once you start getting to the territory where you start,
Nah,
yeah,
I'm not emotional until it's coming to. You know what I'm saying? To the like when I say emotion, emotions can be anything. Emotions don't have to necessarily be a
mm,
negative thing. Emotions could be like, you know what I'm saying? I'm passionate about what I'm talking about or anything like that, right? But it's
hmm,
gotta be controlled. But then at the same time,
correct.
I don't necessarily I don't believe in showing um, most emotions to women. I think that you hold that shit in, you deal with it, you adjust, you figure out other ways to vent, whatever it is that you got to do. But I don't believe, I'm not the type of person that's going to be sitting there coming home telling you every day what my problems are and why I don't like my job and shit like that. I'm not the type of person.
I only seen my daddy cry one time.
Hmm. And well, I ain't going to ask you what it was.
Well, I can tell you what it was. We were playing for the 4th of July, and a firecracker exploded, caught onto my shirt, and I was literally on fire.
Shit.
And so my dad put it out, like he smothered it with his jacket. He put it out, but he thought like I was burnt up, and he was crying. And that's the
I
only
mean,
time I see my
that's
dad cry.
reasonable. That ain't no that's
I
I
don't
don't think
think.
that's
I
unreasonable.
don't, I've never seen my dad cry. And I've actually like my dad's like a dad, like my superhero dad. And I think the most emotional I saw my dad, it was like it wasn't even in real life. I told you about that video that they had of him when he shot that person.
Yeah.
They played the call when he called in the dispatch after he got shot.
Hmm.
I ain't never heard my dad so scared in his life.
Dang.
And
Yeah, so you
I was
see,
like,
that's what I'm saying. It's got to be something. If it's just a regular day, you got a regular, 9 to 5, and you come home and cry. I
no, I ain't crying now.
I understand, but
I
I'm
think the only
assuring you,
times that I've ever cried is in death that I can remember.
yeah,
Mm,
As a
yeah,
grown man, the only time that I could ever in my life ever remember crying in deaths.
yeah, I
I
can
couldn't.
understand that.
That's it.
My grandpa. Yeah, I lost when my grandpa died. I
But
couldn't
it
even
wasn't
stand
even with everybody that died though. For me, it was in certain people that was
Mm,
impactful. That like I cried when my father passed away. I cried when some friends passed away. Um, because it was just so unexpected, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
right.
So
Yeah.
but it was like outside of those, I've never like just cried about like some random shit or like some just weird some weird situation that's going on. I've never cried for that, but in death, I've definitely um I've
That's
definitely
why I don't
let
like
go.
these women telling the men this. Like I see them on different podcasts telling men, "Oh, be more open. Like we want you to be like us and be like
No, I'm
cry
not doing
sometimes." I'm like, they're lying. They're lying.
that.
And
Mm-mm.
if you do it, they're gonna call you soft.
Nope. 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 And even with that, like I never cried in front of my daughter. You know what I'm saying? I never did any of that type thing. So, it's really just about death. Yep, it's
I don't
been
even
about
think
death.
I've ever seen my brothers cry. Yeah, nope.
I never seen my father cry. I've never seen my father. I had never seen my father cry ever.
My father, when he would get mad or frustrated, he would just go out the house. I don't know what he did outside the house, whether he was punching the air or crying, but uh, I never
Oh
saw
yeah,
it.
I mean, I've seen guys like I've seen guys get pissed and stuff like that, but nah, I can't remember. I mean, I don't know what other situation you would cry for though. That's my big thing. It's like, tell me what other situation you would cry for.
That's what I'm trying to figure out. That's why I said she's correct.
I didn't cry when my daughter was born. I was motivated as hell.
Yeah, I didn't cry when they were born either.
Like I can't think of any other situation outside of death you would actually that you would actually generate that type of emotion as a man for.